I had forgotten about the end of the video when we just hug each other and we're just standing there all giddy, like basically our version of winning the Stanley Cup or the Super Bowl. We're just hugging each other like we never do that. And we just were like, this is it. We did it. It went insanely well. Fore players by Barstool Sports. We did it. We just did it. I don't know what else to say. Yes, Kevin Kisner is going to be at the end of the show for 45 minutes. He's always awesome. So stick around for that. But at this point, it's over. The video, the footage didn't get deleted. We didn't get stopped from putting it out. We weren't declined. It didn't fail to upload
I thought we were
on
gonna
the back
die.
end of YouTube. It just fucking went out. Tiger video's out there. It's amazing. Our guys edited the fuck out of it. It couldn't have come out better. People are breaking down every single interaction like it's the Zapruder film.
It's one of those moments I thought we were going to die. I wasn't going to live until January 10th to see this go out. It's like when I was younger, I've said this on the podcast before, but when I was younger and like my parents would surprise me with Disney and they're like, we're going in 2 weeks. And I'd be like, no way. I've never been to Disney. I can't wait. I would literally sit in bed as like an 8-year-old and be like, I hope I make it to that day. I don't want anything to happen to us or the family until that day. That's the only thing I care about. I've had that same mentality throughout my whole entire life. It's a very weird thing I'm dealing with. I probably should see someone about it, but I was dealing with that heavy with this. Like, let's just get there clean. You know, no car accidents. No one needs to go to the hospital with like high blood pressure, nothing. Let's just get there clean. And we did, boys. We got it. Now we're on to the next phase of our lives. The Tiger Woods era is upon us. We got him, man. We fucking got the big cat. We got him.
We got him, and I've been saying this. It's a great video. It really is. Like that. Like obviously
Great
getting
video.
him was huge. Like I mean, I'm sure we've waxed poetic maybe 500 times on this podcast. Like we've been circling this guy. You know, we've got in with Robbie, and we know Joey LaCava very well now, and blah 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 blah. That's all very important. And then you finally get him. And obviously getting him is a big deal, but then the video being really, really good and this guy dropping to his knees and hitting a golf ball, it's a great video. So it hits every way. Everybody in the office is talking about it. Everybody on the internet's talking about it. Dave Portnoy's tweeting about it. People are like, this is an unbelievable video. It was going to be an unbelievable video regardless, because watching us interact with Tiger has been a big deal for a long time. First time we met him at Pebble Beach, it was like, holy shit, these guys finally got to meet him. But to have a video with him where he is interacting with us and he pulls something out of his ass and hits a golf ball from his knees, it just works on every level. And I am just so happy. And honestly, I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us for doing it. I'm proud of everything we've done to get to this point. It's just a big fucking deal, man.
I had forgotten about the end of the video when we just hug each other and we're just standing there all giddy, like basically our version of winning the Stanley Cup or the Super Bowl. We're just hugging each other like this is we never do that. And we just were like, this is it. We did it. It went insanely well. There were so many parts of the video, that I just we didn't even witness. Like Tiger going back to the cart and asking for one ball and being so deliberate about just needing one ball. Like I didn't, we had heard whispers that he wanted one ball, but like he just was like, nope, one ball, just need one ball. Don't need a head cover, just need one ball. And was doing that over and over again. And then all of just the little moments throughout the entire thing, him like touching Trent's, like the inside of Trent's knee. And then him, that podcast that kind of broke out, which we're going to put the audio, like the last 5 minutes of the video was him, we basically were wrapped and he could have just walked away if he wanted to. He could have just clearly given us body language, see you later, get the fuck away from me. And he just stood there and he started talking about Joey because we have a natural connection with Joey. And he starts telling stories about Freddie and all kinds of shit that for 5, 6, 7 minutes. And it just was surreal being there. And I remember in the moment thinking in my own head, you have to at some point talk back to this human now. You have to say something. You're not only are you on video, but he is going to expect you to help carry the conversation. And it depended on who he was looking at. And through that whole caddy thing, he just looked at Frankie, I think the entire time.
Insane.
For like 4 minutes straight, he just looked right at Frankie. And I remember thinking, I was like, thank God he's looking at someone else because I don't know what I'm going to say. But man, it came out so good. There were so many different clips and angles and daps. And I never realized that I just said like, love it, like 7 times in the video, which clearly was my crux throughout the whole thing. And you just kind of realize like, okay, if that's the worst that we did, it was great. But yeah, the editing team with the animation and the build up, like I was a little bit worried we were going to do too much of the build up and people weren't going to get it. And I know Frankie, you were kind of working on that with the edit yesterday. It was the perfect amount. Tiger showed up at like the perfect time, and you could sense, you could feel like the interaction with Tommy, that we were so nervous. Tommy knew we were, everybody kind of understood Colin, like everything going on. And it just came out amazing. He looked brighter and more vibrant in that red than I even remembered. I mean, he was fucking glowing. How he just dropped down to his knees, hit the shot, and then popped right back up when nobody knew if he was healthy. I mean, this was 2 months ago. We didn't know a fucking guy could walk, play golf, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, man. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
It's just one of those moments. Like you're talking about it and everything. I'm reliving. I'm literally have tears in my eyes. You can see how glossy my eyes are. When I have these big happy moments, I can't stop. Like I'm just so emotionally happy about this. Not for like our own sake of personal success, but because of just like the whole story arc and our team. And like I'm thinking about Brendan and Alex Bush fucking just being behind Tiger Woods. And like I know from working with Dave Portnoy, like you got to get the shot. That's the biggest moment of his career as it is ours. You have to be perfect in that moment. Nothing can go wrong. Everyone's coloring needs to be on point. Everyone needs to be in focus. If Tiger Woods drops to his knees and your card breaks or your battery's dead or you're just shaky, we can't use the shot. Alex Bush was on point. Nate the Great, who we bring on the trips, was, oh my God, I just spit, was all over it. Obviously, Jared, who's been editing the shit out of this thing with Brendan and Kyle, and Brendan Jones piecing this thing together is just like, you have all this footage of the biggest video of our lives. This is the culmination of all of our work, right? And our work might seem fucking dumb to people, and it might seem ridiculous that this is our job, and it is. This is our job, and it's ridiculous, and I'll never, ever take it for granted. And the fact that the biggest moment of our jobs was put into the hands of Brendan Jones to put this whole entire thing together, and the way that he tells that story, Mike Essie running from the trees towards the tee box saying, "It's our moment, boys. Let's go." One time, like it was like walking out of the tunnel to go play the Super Bowl, and you get the chills. And I'm getting text messages from people in National Hockey League being like, I'm ready to run through a fucking wall right now. Like these guys, they go out onto the ice during the Stanley Cup playoffs and they go and play against like the best athletes in the world. They have those moments. We don't get to recreate them. We're fucking schlubs. We're nobodies.
Oh,
I'm in my house little mini office. I got bobbleheads on the fucking wall. I got Tiger Woods hanging on the wall. And you're telling me that we get to get that type of moment, the run through the wall, I'm ready to fucking die for these guys type pump up speech. What are you nuts, Mike Essie, giving us that? That's insane. I mean, all of it is just, it's insane. And I know I say insane and crazy and unbelievable, but all of that combined doesn't even make up for what this is, man. It's amazing.
Huge shout out to TaylorMade. I mean,
Oh,
they've been so good to us for so many
Our
years,
booty.
and we've been just kind of floating like, hey, we would love to get Tiger Woods if that's possible. And you got to look at it from their vantage point, right? Like these media days, they get a block with each player, and it's like, all right, they got to film their content for the year down there. And it's important. Their YouTube page is important. YouTube is becoming very important for everybody. And then you got, like Frankie said, 3 schlubs being like, hey, we got a podcast and an Instagram page. If we could just get Tiger Woods, the biggest fish of the biggest fish, for like a few minutes, that would be great. And they just made it happen. Mike Essie, Michael Barbuti, that whole crew, man.
Tyler.
They just made it happen for us. All the names. They're just the fucking best.
Think about it. TaylorMade gets about 6 hours, I think, a year with Tiger Woods. They pay him all this money. He's a TaylorMade athlete. He comes to media day for 1 day, shows up at whatever, 8. He leaves at like 2, and that's it. And for them to film every social media video you see, the Divots video, the Christmas stuff where he's Mac Daddy Santa, all of that, they got to pack all of it, and they got to get all of it in 6 hours. And for them to carve out 20 minutes of that block for the whole year and say, you know what, we're going to give them to you guys, the foreplay guys, and you guys just good luck. That is years in the making. And we started to get whispers about it maybe a month before. We kind of got some whispers. They're like, hey, you guys can pitch something, because we kind of pitched something to all the different agents, right? We have to come up. I just spit as well. We have to come up with like a plan and pitch stuff to the agents. And then that TaylorMade goes to the agents, and they got to get it approved. They got to put it in their block. And then like a week out, we started to get real whispers that were like, hey, get those swings ready, because I think you're going to be taking those in front of Tiger Woods next week. And we were like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then there's 3 days out. They're like, all right, here's the situation. Tiger Woods is going to be in the fairway. Then he's got to be on the tee box. There's a 15-minute block. We are carving that block out for you guys. So you got 15 minutes on a tee box with Tiger Woods to come up with something. And we're like, oh my fucking God. And then the night before, Trent didn't sleep a second. We wake up. We got there, 4 hours early? We've never been early to anything in our life. They're like, Tiger's going to be on this tee box at 11. We're like, we'll be there at 9:30. And we just diddled our thumbs, didn't do shit. It gets delayed. We're all panicking. And the next thing you know, he just rolls up and bang. It's like, you just need to now create a video with Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods looks at me, Frankie, Trent, and he just says, okay, what are we doing? You got to have an idea. You got to execute. You got to be a human that knows how to use your limbs and words and create like sentences with a language in front of this man. And it all just fucking worked. And then the breaking down of the entire video, the fact that he just knew how everything was going to go. He's like, Riggsy, are you long? I was like, no, I'm short. And he's filing away in his head like, okay, I'm going to outdrive this motherfucker from my knees. And then he's like, who's going first? And we're all like, all right, Riggs, you're going to go first. You're going to hit that driver. This is it. This is the moment. He's like, nope, you're going to go last.
I got
he's
something
figuring out in his head, I'm going to mess around with these other guys for a couple minutes. Sure. And you can even see he's trying to, like, no offense to Trey, he's trying to get through the Trent thing. And he's like, yeah, you got something to worry about or something to work on. Because he's trying to get, he knows he's got this moment in his head. And he's like,
yes,
yeah, that's fine. And I hit like 2 drivers and he's like, all right, we're going to try something different. And you can see me in the video. I go, like something along the lines of like, thank God, or yeah, we do. And I'm thinking like, we got to try a totally different golf swing. Clearly, everybody's been saying that for fucking 7 years. And he's like, we're going to do a long drive now. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, what if I just top it or something? Like I do that all the time. Sam Burns video, I topped like 3 into the shit. I don't know. I hit bad drives all the time. A miracle, like basically just a roll of the fucking dice that I happen to hit a good one that actually makes it. So he has to hit a good one. And then we don't know what's going on because we're all thinking in our head, like, of course he's going to outdrive me. I suck. He's good. Like, what are we doing here? And he just played it up. Showman drops down.
Perfect.
One take. He needed 1 golf ball and everybody went crazy. He was happy. And then afterwards, he just shot the shit with us for way too long. He's telling us stories and it just doesn't get any better than that. We can't do better than that. We just can't do better than that.
I told Brendan to cut my part. I was like, let's just get to Frankie and Riggs.
No.
Those parts were
that shows who we are, man.
Yeah.
We are the group that fucking skull fucks 9 balls in front of Tiger Woods, no matter how much the greatest golfer of all time can fix us. You know what I mean?
Robbie Fox had the funniest tweet ever yesterday because we put out the teaser and there were a few shots in it, and the one shot where I just skidded it down the right side of the fairway was in it. And he was like, hey, like asking like, hey, can anybody skid one, slice one down the right side? And I was like, oh yeah, I can definitely do that. Like that's, yeah. I mean, you had to keep it in because I was so fucking nervous, dude. I was so nervous. And I guess you got to show that, but the whole thing is great. The whole thing is fucking great.
I don't understand how or why. The guy's never done media like that. This is the first YouTube video he's ever done, like original YouTube video. He's done videos before at his like charity and things that have had to do with him maybe giving a lesson to someone at the Tiger Woods Foundation events and stuff, but he's never actually showed up to someone's entity, a YouTube group that they make secondary golf media content or whatever you want to call our world, and done a video. And for him to be that prepared to know like what that style is, and I guess that's a testament to like what Barstool is and how he knows about like who we are and what our brand represents. For him to bring that to us is absolutely out of control. We talked before we started recording here. One of the best parts that everyone's loving from the video, aside from Tiger Woods dropping to his knees and hitting a drive 280, 300 yards right down the middle on the left side of the fairway, which is the thing that we were teasing the entire time, obviously. We were saying if we were scrolling on Instagram at this point in Tiger Woods' career, where he just got off of surgery at the time, you got to remember when we filmed this thing, just got off of surgery. We didn't know if this guy was going to be playing in a tournament. He hadn't announced a single tournament at that time. We had heard whispers that he was walking a little bit better. The last time we had seen him on a golf course, he was limping off and withdrawing from tournaments. And then the guy gets down on his knees. We said that if we saw that on Instagram, Tiger Woods in red and black on his knees, we would do an emergency press conference of him hitting a drive off his knees. We've never seen him do anything like that, let alone in our video. So I hope that has lived up to the hype, because seeing Tiger Woods drop to his knees and pipe a drive and slow down the footage like I have a million times of him opening up his hips. He actually doesn't choke up on the golf club. So he's on his knees. He does not choke up on the golf club. He gets shallow and he comes in the slot and opens up his hips at impact. It's fucking wild. Watch his knees kind of slide with the impact of the golf club. It's crazy. So yeah, I think what I was going to say before, one of the best parts aside from that is us breaking down the way that we dapped him up and every one of our fans is like so happy that we included that because it shows that we are still regular fucking assholes that can't get it right and we freak out about the littlest things.
Dude.
Briggs was like, I mean, Tiger Woods has showed up to tournaments his entire life. He's the greatest golfer of all time. He's shaken a million reporters' hands, and he's gone up to Jim Nantz and Mike Tirico and Brandel Chambly, whoever the people may be, and he's dapped them up. He's given them a handshake. Has there ever been a breakdown about how that person was able to successfully touch that man's hand? No. But in our brand, in our video, that is a main focal point of the content. It's a main, like we have 3 main parts. It's meeting Tiger Woods, it's shaking his hand, and then it's him hitting the golf shot. That's like what it is. You know what I mean? It's if you're going in chapters, it's like the second biggest one is us dapping him up. And I'll never ever lose sight of that because that's the regular guy fucking shaking a god's hand. And I'll never ever change. I'll always get giddy over that shit.
I love that he walked away for 30 seconds, and in those 30 seconds, we all looked at each other like, "How'd your dap go? It looked like it was a little. Was it good? Was it good? Would you?" And we all just did that. And I
almost jammed his hand. I did. I almost jammed his fucking finger.
Oh, so cool.
I felt it. You know when you feel like that little just boom. I felt it.
And it is that is 7+ years of just playing the game, man. Just being around Joey, being around Robbie Mack, being Tiger fans, which we are just Tiger fans. Like even if we knew there was a 0.00000% chance we would ever get Tiger Woods, it wouldn't change anything about the way that we tweet, about the way that we talk on the show. Tiger Woods is the guy. He's the needle, he moves everything. We know that. Everybody knows that. But man, working with his guys, being around at events, not overdoing it. When we did get inside the ropes with him at Southern Hills, right? There were certain clips from there where he was talking incredibly candidly with us. Like, we're not putting that stuff out. We're not breaking down or saying publicly stuff that we think maybe he wouldn't want out there or whatever the hell it might be. We just played the game for years and years. And when we started this fucking thing, me, Frankie, Trent, Dan's played a little bit higher level golf than we have, of course. But dude, we didn't play golf in any circles, any competitive circles. We didn't know anybody in the golf world. We just kind of came out. We started DMing people from the Barstool main account, begging them to come onto our podcast. Somehow grew it from there to a point where all of a sudden we get TaylorMade Golf rolls up with Tiger Woods and his team and Mark Steinberg. And Mark Steinberg a week before had been briefed on us, and he had said, yep, we like those guys, and they had agreed to do it. That in and of itself is fucking so unlikely from the start of this entire thing. I can't explain that. And like Frankie just said, he doesn't do this. He does not.
Never.
He does a lot of media that's like paid for or required by basically being a PGA Tour member or a participant in a tournament. And even then, he still has the right to say no sometimes. And so for him to offer up his time, Steinberg to agree, Tiger to be into it, dude, like, I got to give a big thanks to Tiger fucking Woods for him.
Yeah.
He made the video. He could have so easily just slogged his way through that, been like, okay, another media obligation. Sure. What do you want me to do? You want me to look at Trent's swing? Great. Okay, it looks okay, Trent. He could have easily done that. Still would have been an awesome video. Dude, he was so into it. He was giddy to tell us those stories about Joey and Fred and going to different tournaments and trying to book practice round times as an amateur. He was so into trying to help us out. He was so into the fact that he was going to be the star of the show, which is so Tiger Woods. I have an amazing still shot that I had remembered in my mind, but I wasn't sure if it happened the way that I thought it did, but it did, of like me hitting the best drive I could possibly hit. And you guys were all juiced up and I was juiced up and I stepped through it and I turned around thinking Tiger being in the video and understanding how important this moment was going to be juiced up. And the motherfucker didn't even look at me. Like, he mean mugged me and walked right past me and was like, this is my show, dude. This is not your show. Watch this. And you could hear him. He's like, okay, yeah. I'm just going to long drive here. And then he just drops down and does the thing. So huge shout out to him being fucking into it. I don't know if that required like his boys, Essie, Robbie Mack, sort of briefing him a little bit. I don't know if he did that on his own.
Joey LaCava, man.
Joey. Yeah, Joey was
LaCava.
Huge. That's true.
Have you told that story?
Well, yeah. I think we talked about it like the day that we did it. We kind of teased it with Trotty when we did the podcast from Florida. But I mean, just to retell it real quick before we get to Kiz and all these guys and the Tiger story, Joey has become such a huge part of our careers, and he's become a really good friend. I don't talk to him as much during the hockey season because when the Rangers are the best team in the league, I don't like to really have communication with him. We talked hockey with Tiger Woods, by the way. I mean, I talked Islanders Rangers with Tiger Woods. I don't know how I didn't just come all over, like just that's everything. The only thing I had to add was like, oh, my dad also owns a pizzeria, and then it's just like I just explode. Right. If I talk pizza,
you got to go by there when you're the captain of the Ryder Cup team. You got to go by there. We got to have you by Borelli.
If I say my dad has a pizza shop since 1955.
I've been around Frankie enough where when I hear my dad has owned a pizzeria, I kind of walk away just in general because I've heard Frankie tell that story a million times.
Oh, it's just everything was happening at once. I don't know how I kept my cool, but Joey LaCava has been our guy. His kids came to our punk show. They go to the Chicks in the Office show. Joey Jr. is our guy. And we've played golf with Joey a bunch. We played with him at Trump Ferry Point, which is not even Trump Ferry Point anymore. He lost that name. It's like Bally's. Did you guys see that?
The
one over here in New York.
It is like Bally's. It's like full rebrand.
Anyway, we were playing with him like every Friday, him and his whole entire crew, just the funniest crew of all time. And we became really good boys. And he would like check in on me and be like, how's it going? What's like the latest in foreplay? So I texted him the night before our Tiger shoot. And I said, Joey, I think we've got the big cat tomorrow. I know he's not on his bag anymore, but he's still tight with him in my eyes. I'm like, they still have a great relationship. I said, do you have any tips for me? He goes, amazing. Just really stay within yourself. If you think about him standing behind you, it's going to become too much. Like just hit your golf shot and then worry about everything else. Easier said than done for sure. But we ended it there, and I said, thanks, Joey. Appreciate it. I'll let you know how it goes. The next morning, I'm not even thinking about anything. We're freaking out. Tiger Woods Day. We hear Tiger Woods is coming at 11 a.m. I get a text message from Joey LaCava at like 9:30 a.m., and he goes, he texts me and goes, what time are you shooting with TW today? And I go, holy fuck. So now I'm thinking, do I even let Joey know? Because then maybe if he lets Tiger know, Tiger's going to be like, what am I doing today? I'm not doing that. I was going to ruin the whole thing, I thought. Remember that? I went to you guys at breakfast and I go, if I text Joey right now and he tells Tiger you're with the Barstool guys, Tiger and his whole crew might be like, no, we're not. I'm fucking tired. I got to go to the bathroom. I got to do whatever. I'm not doing that. So I was freaking out. So I tell Joey 11 o'clock in the morning. Why? And he goes, I'll shoot him a text. Good luck. I'll shoot him a note. Good luck. I think in that note, whatever he wrote, that unlocked Tiger Woods to be like, oh yeah, it is the Barstool guys. It's Riggsy. Like that's what we got at 11 o'clock. All right, I'm going to show him something. I think Joey wrote like, give him hell. You got the boys at 11, show them something. Like they're good guys. Like mess around with them a little bit. And Tiger's like, perfect. I'm going up to that tee box with a purpose.
I am ready to say that without that Joey LaCava text that he sent to Tiger, whatever it is, I think it's just he watches our swings and then he's like, all right, boys, that was fun. I think Joey, like you're saying, Frankie, what did say, like, show him something. Give him something to talk about. Like, these are our guys. You can trust them. I know them pretty well. Like, show him something. And I think that's why he ends up getting on his knees and hitting a drive. I really do.
I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility at all. If in all of our videos, Joey has been heroic. When we had the one at Pebble Beach, Tiger's walking the other direction. He points. He goes, oh, those are your guys over there. Tiger walks over, shoots the shit with us. When we go inside the ropes at Southern Hills, that was Joey LaCava being like, come in here, guys. And then literally being like, oh, Tiger. He did the classic, like, you remember blank, you remember blank, you remember blank. And like Joey has just teed it up for us multiple times. So
and dude,
huge thanks to Joey LaCava.
Prior to that moment at the PGA, we were on like, let's say that happened on 16 or 17, right? I think that happened on 17 with Tiger, maybe
16, 17,
so.
Yeah,
16, 17. It's the hole that the 18 was Mito Pereira, but we walked up 18 with him. But yeah 16 or 17
it was that drivable par 4 because he was remember he walked up into like that forward tee box and hit a drive from up there.
So prior to that, we were on like 15, 16, and Joey saw us placing ourselves at the PGA Championship. And as we're walking, so our thing at these tournaments with Tiger, when we get credentialed, we will place ourselves so that when he walks, we can somewhat be in his vision or his team's vision. And we would always be like right by the ropes to the next tee box. And Joey kept seeing us there and he goes, come on, like looked at me and grabbed me by the chest and goes, follow us now. Like, this is your moment. Get up here to this next tee box. We didn't go up to the tee box because Tiger was at like a different tee box. He wanted to try out different shots. So we ended up going to the fairway. And that's just the point, is like Joey is looking after us always. Yep. And I've always just been so appreciative of that. The best. I mean, he came to Borelli's after an Islanders playoff win, and we had cocktails in the back room, and he had the whole entire Islanders team sitting down telling Tiger stories. All of them. Dobson, Pulak, Brock Nelson, Matt Martin. Everyone's sitting there with a cocktail in their hand after they just beat the Bruins to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. And they're sitting there listening to Joey LaCava tell fucking stories about Tiger Woods. And now we're in a video of fucking Tiger Woods. You got to be fucking kidding me, man. Let's get that audio in here. Let's get that fucking audio in here of him talking to us about Joey, about telling a great story about Shinnecock and fucking Freddie Couples. Get that audio in here. Let's get Kiz on the line.
Here's audio of Tiger Woods chatting with us in real life. This is not AI. This is actual. And then we got Kevin Kisner for 45 minutes, who always brings it. So a huge thanks to everybody. We would have never had this video. Would never had any of this stuff we just talked about if it weren't for everybody listening to us, elevating us, amplifying everything that we do. So we're insanely appreciative. Enjoy Tiger Woods. Enjoy Kevin Kisner. We'll be back next week. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Joe says hello, by the way.
Oh, he's the best.
Best human being ever.
Great.
I love that guy.
Yeah. We've gotten beers with him a few different times.
Yeah,
These
we
guys
played
are
golf
all
with him a
about-
couple
But he goes to bat for you. He sticks by you at all times, and he loves his teams.
Yeah.
I'm on the
God.
opposite with, he's a Rangers fan, I'm an Islanders fan.
Oh, God.
We give it to each other so bad.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I had my LA team. He has New York teams.
Yep. That's right.
And everything was always about sports.
my team went on a 7-game losing streak, and he texted me like 2
Every
nights
game?
ago, and he goes, "Did you lose my number?" He just wants to know if I'm if I'm alive still.
Right.
Yeah, he's the man.
Well, it's just like him and Fred. I mean, that's all they do is talk sports.
Yeah.
Fred, that's all he does is watch.
Yeah. Dude, how much does that matter to you out there? Just being like comfortable, your guy talks about the same stuff you like to talk about.
It has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Because if your guy knows that what is interesting to you and is able to take you out of a bad headspace,
Right.
things are not going my way, and it's like, well, how about the Lakers last night?
Right.
Yeah.
That's so true.
That right there, I'm like, oh yeah,
You like reset?
yeah, it's like, yeah. Our boys, played well in the fourth quarter. And we started talking about that stuff, and all of a sudden I forgot I just bogeyed last 2 holes.
Right.
Right.
That's so true.
But he's been able to know your guy and be able to have that kind of connection. And he had that connection with Fred for 20 plus years.
Right.
That's all they did.
Yeah.
When you're picking a guy, are you like putting him through that kind of test? Like, can we talk sports? Can we get along? Is that a big part of who your guy ends up being?
Well, if you look at my career, I've only had like 3 guys. Right. I had Fluff, Stevie, and Joey.
Right.
Fluff was Peter wasn't going to play in the fall of '96. Mm-hmm. He was taking the fall off, and he was hurt. Butch asked if Peter if Fluff might be available to caddy for this young kid who's coming out of college and might want to turn pro. Okay, that then kind of worked out. Yeah. Raymond was transitioning to the senior tour, playing on a senior tour, and wasn't going to be playing that much. I was having success on the regular tour, and Raymond says, "Why don't you go work for this young kid? I mean, he's going to make a lot more money than I am on playing the senior tour.
True.
And you're going to have more fun doing that than you are out here with us."
Right.
And Raymond has been like one of my mentors my entire life. So that was awesome to have Stevie for all those years. Yep. Yeah. And then Joey was like Fred. Fred's like my dad on tour.
Right. Yeah.
So Fred's like, "Hey, dude, why don't you and Joey, you guys are the same. You're both competitive, hard-headed, stubborn, driven, and both love sports. And I think you guys would be a perfect duo together."
Right.
I go back to the original story with Joey. I played my first Masters practice round with Raymond and Fred, okay, on Tuesday in '95. So I'm nervous. I'm not talking to these guys. I mean, they're the Masters champions. I'm just this little amateur, right? I'm 19 years old. I'm not saying anything. And Joey goes up, "Hey, I want to talk to Fred about so-and-so. Talk about this. And ask Raymond about how to play this hole." Oh. And Joey was like urging me to do that. That's awesome. And then after as we're going up 18, why don't you talk about Fred about the U.S. Open? I'm like, I'm not. I don't want to get anyone's way. Yeah. He says, "Hold on." And as we're walking up 18, he goes up to Fred, and then after we're done, Fred goes, "Hey, what are you doing at Shinnecock on Tuesday?" Like, I don't know. Mr. Couples, I just hope I'm just going to be there. He says, 10 o'clock, you, me, Raymond, we'll play a practice round. This is pre-cell phones, right? Yeah. So there's no way of communicating.
Oh, wow, right.
So I'm just got to wait from April, May, then, June. I show up and hopefully they remember that they scheduled a practice round with this 19-year-old little kid, like at Shinnecock, and then boom, they're there. And that's when my relationship with Joey was cemented.
Wow. That's incredible.
Dude, that guy's the best.
So that's why we're so lockstep.
Yep.
I'll do anything for him.
That's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, we love Joey.
Yeah, we do.
It's amazing to hear him in a situation like that. You know,
Yeah, it is funny.
Nervous to talk to somebody. And,
Yeah, but I'm 19. I was a teenager.
yeah, right.
Of course.
Right. It's
Didn't know anybody.
Probably last time you showed up to a tea time hoping that it was set.
Yeah, but see, that's just a different era, right?
Yes.
The no phones is a
No phone.
hilarious
Couldn't.
wrinkle.
You're just like
couldn't-
waiting months.
Couldn't get a hold of them. You know, no voicemails, no nothing.
No.
I mean, maybe a fax, but I didn't know their fax numbers.
That's incredible, man. That's great.
Oh, dude.
All right, good stuff, man. Enjoy it, guys.
Thank you, Ty. You're the man.
Good stuff.
Appreciate you.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Techniques headphones deliver legendary hi-fi sound quality that you would expect only to come from Techniques state-of-the-art industry-leading noise canceling to shut out the noise that distracts you from staying on top of your game. These things are amazing. I've got the AZ80 earbuds. Frankie's got the A800 headphones. You can get 10% off of your purchase on earbuds if you go to us.techniques.com/foreplay. That's us.technics.com. us.techniques.com/foreplay. Get 10% off. Frankie, don't we love these things? They're unbelievable.
We love them. We love them. We're wearing them after talking about Tiger Woods. This is like the greatest moment in our lives. We're wearing the greatest headphones of our lives. It's as simple as that. Everything's so great right now. The audio is great. I just feel so comfortable. My setup now for the podcast is so just like dialed in. I've got the whole entire thing. I got the mic. I've got the light. And then I have these headphones just sitting on top of my microphone. They're always charged up. They're perfectly Bluetooth. They have such good sound, such good feeling. And I just put them on my head and I'm ready to rock. There's no stress at all. There's absolutely no stress. And then the craziest thing is it can connect to multiple different devices. It goes from my computer, my phone, my iPad. So if anything comes in, a call or anything, I'm able to switch it pretty easily. Amazing stuff. These techniques are the real deal.
They are. They're unbelievable. The ones that I've got, the earbuds, one of my favorite parts about it, no ear fatigues. They've got this advanced fit ergonomics. You can wear the earbuds securely, comfortably over long stretches of time. Huge for us when we travel. You get to the airport pretty much as soon as you get into the Uber, put in your headphones, you're listening to a podcast, music, whatever it might be. You got to go through checking in, security, boarding process, the flight, the whole deal. You got to wear these things for a long period of time. They need to be comfortable. They are. There's also all kinds of noise going on with planes, pilots, people in the speaker at the gate. It's just a lot of noise. The noise canceling on these things is phenomenal. So they're as good as it gets. Shop for Techniques True Wireless AZ80 earbuds or the A800 headphones. That is us.techniques.com/foreplay. That's us.techniques.com/foreplay. Get 10% off their purchase on earbuds, headphones, and more.
Is it just us three?
It's us three. Frankie's at the Islander game, and Trent didn't respond to text messages, I believe, which is not uncommon. So you got myself and Dan. This is a wild move that you're pulling here. You're the lead analyst last week, and now you're just playing in the Sony where you've had really strong finishes before. Are you feeling like a weird couple weeks?
No, I had to come over here anyway, so they might as well pay for my trip.
That's smart.
I was getting here on Sunday or getting here on Wednesday, so I came a few days early, made $1, came over here to try to make some more dollars.
I ran into you in the hotel bar on what was it, Tuesday night or Wednesday night, and you made it. You said basically like this is just a fill-in thing. You know, I'm still playing. After this week, are you tempted at all? Does it make you appreciate playing more? Like, how are your emotions about doing this long term versus where you were last week?
The only thing that blew me away is like everyone said good things, and I find that really weird because if you can only get good reviews, then you saw it downhill from there. But also, like something weird's going on. You could say like the sky's beautiful, and people get pissed off. I don't really know what's going on. Maybe I didn't see all the bad comments, but I think maybe golf broadcast is such a bad spot that like any new somewhat funny shit people like, and they kind of like that. As far as the tryout, yeah, I'm playing golf. I can make way more money playing golf and not have to show up on time, and I can be the boss still. So that's way more fun. Obviously down the road, they want me, then they got to show me the money to make me do that. So that's kind of where I stand on that.
This is like a Charles Barkley TNT situation where the negotiation just plays out in the media. Remember when he was doing that? He like went and played in a live pro-am,
Yeah,
so they
he
would
was
like
going
bump
to
it
win.
up.
Yeah, and then he got like $10 million or whatever it was. I like that. That's like kind of new age where it's like, you want me, you got to show me the money. You're not afraid to say it.
Yeah, show me the money, man. I'll come over there for you. But I got to turn down a lot of money to not come over there. I mean, to come over there. I got a lot of partners that have been longtime partners that I've signed contracts with that they expect me to play golf and hold trophies and be good stewards to their business, which I wouldn't be able to do over there. So there's a lot of different aspects to it.
Has this influx of money in the last couple of years due to live, do all bullshit, change your philosophy on where you're at in your playing career? Because 39, getting close to 40, you've had a fucking incredible career, but you talk all the time. You're insanely honest about how far everybody else hits it. We've all laughed about how you've said, I can't win at this course, can't win at that course. Now all of a sudden it's like, we looked, Chris Kirk won $3.6 million on Sunday for winning the fucking Century out in Hawaii. Does part of you now think like, holy shit, man, like, yeah, I've done a great job, but I need to have a killer 3 or 5 years here and I can make an unimaginable amount of money?
Yeah, I think the money's outrageous coming up, but I got to be in those designated events, which I didn't set myself up for that last year. So I feel like I'm kind of behind the 8 ball on the golf for the first time in 8 years, probably 9 years. But they do have you a path to get into them. So you got to get hot. You got to play well. And you play well these next couple of weeks and you get in the Pebble, you play well, you keep rolling. So I like the idea that you can get into it and keep rolling. I just need to start playing better. I played 3 tournaments in 6 months. So I need to get on a roll of playing a bunch of tournaments in a row.
How'd you feel coming back? I mean, we had you on as the mountain man and you'd come off your little hiatus. And then, you're talking about how you're grinding with Tillery, you're gearing up. Obviously 3 events isn't a full slate, but how did it feel to get back out there, knock the rust off?
I mean, I made the cut in every one of them, but I never felt like I was just like playing golf swing and trying to figure out how not to hit my nemesis shots and just like get back into the grind of believing. I'm closer now than I ever was this fall on that side, but I still struggle with some of the mental side of it more than the physical side. Like I hit some unbelievable shots. I played 18 holes a day and made a bunch of birdies, hit some great shots, and I hit some duds out there too. But it's like so much closer now on the golf side than it was 6 months ago or even 18 months ago. Like I would hit it better now than I was when I showed President's Cup, which is kind of like the downfall of when I started hitting it really bad in 22. So, and then that carried over through 23. Then I quit, and then I just started being a mountain man.
Did you practice at all last week? And like, what would usually a week before a tournament, will you be practicing every day? And were you able to do that with your TV schedule?
I practice every day. I got a Tuesday, and they Rolfing had me set up on that range right by the Ritz where I saw you, and I hit balls every morning. These high school kids took care of me, had me a cart and waters, and I would go jump out in front of the first group that teed off at 7 somewhere. I'd get on like 6, 7, 8 and play in, and then be at the compound at 10.
The Bay course.
Yeah, the Bay course.
Nice.
And then on Sunday, Kurt Byram and Smiley and I just took our NBC cards and played the back 9 of Kapalua twice after the tournament was over. It was like 3:15. Nobody's out there. I said, why not? We'll just go till we get kicked off, and nobody kicked us off.
How'd you play?
Made a few birds. The wind actually started blowing in the afternoon. I don't know if y'all watched the end, but Kirk had to hit like 5-iron to 17. They've been driving it through the fairway all week. And when we went out there, it was like humping in off the left, which is totally the opposite wind for 17, 18.
Did you realize always that you looked so similar to Smiley, or was that just a thing that happened when you went
isn't it?
Yeah,
Wow.
you look a lot like him. I don't know if anyone ever put it together.
I don't either. I don't think him and I ever put it together until somebody put a picture of us up together. I was like, holy shit. I mean, I'm a lot older.
It's the same hair. It's like you guys have the same affect.
He said when he saw my southern swoop, he had to double take whenever he saw me in the booth walking down the fairway. It's like, holy shit, am I in the booth or is he in the booth?
He said it was hot in there, huh? Hot in that booth?
Thursday was hot. Friday, whatever the first day I taught, it was hot as shit. And nobody was saying anything. And I was like literally they went to all camera and my hair stuck to my forehead and it's beading sweat. I was like, is anybody hot in here? And everybody's like, yeah. I was like, why don't y'all say anything? They're like, well, we don't like to complain. I'm like, well, I'm going to complain because it's fucking 85. Like, yeah, let's get some AC going. And then the next day it was 62 and there had to be as freezing. And I kept watching Dan Hicks before we go on air. He's got like a tissue, his nose running. It's so cold in there. He's like, all right, kids, you got it cold enough for us. You can tell to turn the heat on now.
They're going to love you then. You're like standing up for these guys for the first time.
I was shocked, man. Guys, I've never been in the working world. Guys don't want to get fired, I guess. Nobody likes to say what they really want to say.
You never had like, you must have had jobs growing up.
No, man, I didn't. My dad owned the construction business, so every time I came home like 2 a.m. drunk, he made me wake up at 6 and go sweep his houses out, clean up his job sites. That was about it.
So you're not used to like the politics of you can't say this to that person and you got to show. Yeah,
No politics, but I was trying to get a feel for it. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna be me. I mean,
it's actually like such a big part of like a new workplace. I remember it took me 4 or 5 months to just like learn the lay of the land within this fucking boy band. You know what I mean? And I can't even imagine what you walked into and you're like, you know, because the producer knows it and they have this relationship and this camera guy's been there for a long time and you're just like, I don't know anything that's going on.
I don't know anyone or anything that's going on. And I've got a lot of people coming up and introducing themselves to me. And I'm just trying to be nice to everyone. But I literally, like, if they fire me tomorrow, I'm going to be the same. So whatever it is.
How was did you do have to do like a big dry run or anything or a rehearsal, or were you just roll in there Friday and we're like, put a mic on me, let's go?
Dude, we had a meeting on Wednesday at 1:30. It's the first meeting I've ever been told to be at and what time. And I had to show up as an employee, which, you know, is kind of whatever. Probably about like every other corporate meeting in the world could be cut in a third. And then he's like, all right, like no prep going up other than a 20-minute phone call with the producer who kind of went over the ins and outs of what to say, not to say. Obviously, we all know what not to say. And then he's like, all right, rehearsals, y'all go to the booth. So we get out in our carts and drive, 2 miles up to the booth. And I'm like, what in the hell? Are we like rehearsing somebody hitting a shot and we're going to talk about it? It was mostly just Dan Hicks, doing all of his ins and outs and all of his reads. And then they go, all right, we're going to show you the 18th hole here. And then, all right, kids, you explain the hole to me. And I give like, hey, everybody's going to try to smash it down the right side and hit it on the two and make it eagle. And he was like, I need way more energy out. All right, thanks. See y'all tomorrow.
When I saw you at the hotel, I was like, how'd it go? You've been rehearsing. You go, I don't have any clue what I'm doing.
I have no clue. I literally have no clue what I'm doing.
You learned. You picked it up quick. Was it weird at all this week? Like are the guys all giving you shit, calling you like, old man, you're retired, whatever it is? Or are they all being cool about it?
I thought I would get way more grief when I signed up. And then this week, all everybody wants to know is how was it? What was going on? I've even had players ask me, like, what did you see I need to do better? And
really?
Like, what people don't understand is I watch the same broadcast as you. It's just like sitting on your couch watching TV, but you get to talk. It's not like I watched, Brendan Todd hit the driver, hit the second shot in the worst spot ever. They just cut him on the green putty for par.
Did you feel were you hesitant at all to be critical? I know you had the Scotty Scheffler stuff went pretty viral when you're talking about his putting and I thought that was great. Everybody thought that was great. We've watched Scotty for a year now be the number one player in the world and really struggle with putting. You put a lot of color to it, a lot of analysis to it, but like you're also on the range the next week, the next year, several years with these guys. Like, was it weird for you at all to be breaking down what people are doing wrong when you're just Kevin Kisner sitting in the booth?
Man, I just try to make sure everybody knows where they stand with me at all times. I just keep it 100 all the times, and I don't really put up any flaky bullshit. So pretty much whatever I say to them on the range is the same shit. I would have told Scotty Scheffler that his shoulders were open and his feet were shut if he was playing this week and I walked by him on the putting green. So it's not like I said anything out of the ordinary. If I'm playing with Jordan Spieth this week, and he takes 2 minutes over a 3-footer and then lips it out, I'd be like, good God, if you take any longer to miss that fucking putt. I mean, we're in the same conversations. I just can't say the F words. And
that's why they wanted to hire you. That's why they wanted to hire you, is because they knew that they could just give you a microphone, and as long as you could clean up the F-bombs, it would be the same shit.
It's the same. So not one person, like on Saturday or whenever Jordan missed that putt, I was down there on the range shooting the shit with him that morning. I was waiting on him to give me shit about giving him shit. And he was like, oh, I didn't even see that. So nobody's watching. I told him myself, I was like, I dogged you when you missed that 3-footer yesterday.
Yeah, these tour pros are like blissfully unaware. It's amazing. It's a great life. I wish we weren't so fucking online all the time, but we are. That's our job.
You guys are pretty blissfully unaware. It's nice. I remember there have been some moments throughout Kisner's career where I've like texted him about things that are going on online, and I could tell you're like, huh? I'm like, there's shit's happening online. You're like, I don't know, dude.
I remember when everyone was roasting Fitz for the Morikawa penalty at Hero. Yeah. And I texted him and I was like, I was like, people are stupid. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, the penalty. He's like, oh, well, He goes, if Patrick Reed got it, they'd all be celebrating. I'm like, no. Like, they're mad at you. Like, they're not mad at Colin. He was like, oh, sucks. Like, he had no
Doesn't
clue.
care.
No clue at all.
No clue.
Yeah. So that's the way to do it. That's the way to go about life. We can't do that, Riggs.
Do you remember during COVID when I made that comment to that douchebag on Twitter and about COVID, and then I literally put my phone down and went and played golf, and I looked at it like 8 hours later, and Riggs has texted me like 70 times, like, kids, you need to answer my phone, like you're getting canceled currently. Like,
we are mid-cancel, Kevin.
Dude.
We are mid-cancel.
Call me
that's
right now. I call him and he's like, you need to delete that tweet. And I was like, what tweet are you talking about? I literally didn't even know what he was talking about.
Dude, I was like, I had started being like, haha, everything okay over there? So, I was like trying to test the waters a little bit. Nothing from kids for like 2 hours. And I'm like, hey man, like I really think like you're going to need to like take this pretty seriously. Nothing. And then I sent him a couple more like 2 hours later. And I was like, kids, like you need to delete that tweet and issue like an apology. I'm happy to like help you. And then he finally called me. He's like, what is going on? And I was like, dude, you're like the top story on golfchannel.com. ESPN's got you. Everybody's got you. And you're like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know what tweet they're talking about. But he was just blissfully unaware. He's out fucking around playing golf. And I
didn't think it was a big deal until like 8
I do
o'clock
think
at night.
my last text was like all caps. I was like, you are currently getting canceled.
Call me now. Call me now. Hang on.
Did you? Oh, yeah.
I remember and my wife's the same way. I'll never forget that story because I came home and I was like, I guess I really screwed up this morning. And she looks at me like, yeah, I would say you screwed up. All right.
Geez, did you get in trouble at all last week?
Not that I know of.
It's impressive.
I got just good reviews so far from, just the production people. I don't really go out and read what other people say. Like when camera guys are coming up to you and saying, man, I enjoyed listening to you out there. I feel like that means you did okay. Because they got to listen to that bullshit all day long.
They listen to a lot of it. How much of a pro is Dan Hicks? That guy's like a machine, huh?
He's unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
In one of the breaks, I said something like, your job's easy. All you got to do is read these sheets of paper, and I got to come up with something about every golf shot. And he goes, okay, perfect. You're coming out of this break, what we're going to say, and then you're going to go into this whatever TrackMan thing sponsored by this, and then you're going to leaderboards, and then you're going to billboards. Okay, you ready? Bye.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm out.
I think Dan Hicks is very underrated because Jim Nance is like such a legend, and everyone freaks out about Jim Nance. Dan Hicks is awesome. He's had some of the most iconic calls, not just in golf, but like the swimming. He called all of Michael Phelps's gold medals. He called the Jason Lezak comeback. He is awesome. And I feel like he doesn't get his flowers because of Jim Nance being like this titan of broadcasting.
What's amazing about those people, and I've been around Nance a ton, I've never worked with Pops, but how they can come up with something to say when there's nothing to say and it sounds somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
Like Dan, we went commercial free the last hour, which I felt was going to be a nightmare because of Century. What are we going to do? Show Chris Kirk walk the 17th hole for 12 minutes in between shots? And he can just keep it rolling, like in that perfect tone and talking. And I'm like, Dan, I don't really have much to add to you about Chris Kirk's strut down the last hole here. He's got to win the golf tournament. And you can't really tell TV when he gets that 5-iron that the tournament's over. I was like going to say, put the women and children to bed. It's over. Let's go home. But you can't do that.
Did they give you that instruction? Were they like, it's keep everybody interested. It's never a wrap. You never say you can go do something else.
Yeah. Doodle, Tom Randolph, Tommy Roy's like right-hand guy that kind of tells you where we're going and what every shot is. He was like, come on, kids. We got 3 holes left. Don't give up on them now. You got to keep it up. And I was like, it's over. Right here on this 5-iron. It's already over. He can hit 3 5-irons to 18 and make a par. So it's an interesting deal. I think it would be more fun on courses where there's more carnage for me. I think I'm more witty when there's shit's going bad.
Yeah.
Because
25 under par being like T10, it wasn't much to shit on.
And there was a lot of people that everybody drove it in the same spot, literally.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, I played in the
wind.
Pro-Am, and I was astounded at how many nets they had down because there's all these funnels. Like you'll see like maybe one hole a week. I think they had them on pretty much every hole at Kapalua. It's like everything just funnels to the same spot.
I don't know when we're doing it. I'm doing Phoenix. There's not a whole lot of carnage there, but there can be some carnage. And then
but there'll be some craziness with the crowds, and that'll be fun.
Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to incorporate the crowd into that because I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll come up with some shit.
You'll
Probably
figure it
get
out.
canceled at that one. Trying to make my family come to that one so I don't end up in the bird's nest every night.
Yeah, you're gonna need some. You're gonna need a governor put on you that week if you're gonna be
I was
presentable.
like, Brett,
on the-
you better come with the kids, and we just stay in the TV hotel, and we just drink water, act like we're good saints.
Yeah, you had the same line that gave us a little bit of a hiccup during the Corn Ferry Tour broadcast. You had a good comment. You guys did you went to whoever was in like 17th place and had like a 70-footer, and they go, "This was just a moment ago," and Kiz goes, "Oh, I wonder if he hoops this one."
No, I said I got a pretty good feeling this one goes in.
That's right. And that was the same one where we were doing the Corn Ferry Tour broadcast, and we had said to our producer like the night before it started, we were like, the dumbest thing ever is that you guys say a moment ago, just don't tell anybody. Who cares? Nobody knows any different. And he was like, no, the integrity of the timing and all that.
This was so good.
Then he fucking told me, and he's in my ear, and he goes, all right, Riggs, you need to say a moment ago. And I'm like, I can't say that, dude. The guy, I can't say that. I can't say it. He's like, you got to say a moment ago. I'm like, I'm not going to say, you got to say a moment ago. So I'm like, I'm being told I have to say a moment ago. And then Kurt goes, Riggs, you are such a pussy. Like, live on the broadcast.
Yeah, you were like, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it.
Do you want to know the best part of the one I called where I said, I'm pretty sure this one goes in or whatever I said? I look over when the ball goes in and Rolfie points at me and winks like, good call, kids. No bullshit. I was like, did you not know that was going in? He said a moment ago and we went to a 40-footer in 17th place. I mean, it goes in every fucking time, Rolf.
Yeah, literally every time. Did they give you any instructions on like don't mention like if anybody mentions like the Masters, you have to use certain terminology, or don't mention John Rahm because he's not on the PGA Tour anymore, like any of that stuff?
No, it was all whatever you want to talk about. I mean, they told me you can't say certain words, and like obviously we had to be careful last week with the wildfires. We weren't trying to talk about that, or not in any light, or say any words
Right.
that might pack people off over there because of what they're going through. But
Don't say this guy's on fire.
correct.
Yeah, that
Or
makes
he's-
sense. That's actually good to be reminded of because you could
Yeah,
easily just
that's a
fuck that
thing
up
that
and
you
not
could say.
think-
Yeah.
No doubt.
Do you guys remember the Jeremy Lin one? Jeremy Lin, when the ESPN copywriter, whoever put like the big headline on the website, and it just said like a chink in the armor when Jeremy Lin had like his first bad game, and that guy got canned. And I guarantee you that guy like didn't even fucking think about that. And it's same
No
way
doubt.
with where it's like if you say on fire or something, there's no way your brain's thinking that, but it could get misconstrued. And obviously, so that's interesting. That's good. Probably good that they said that.
I would have never known it. I mean, not that I wasn't paying attention to the wildfires, but I would have never put two and two together just because we say that all the time, right? He's on fire now, or he's heating up, or whatever.
Yeah.
All the
How you
time.
feeling about this week? This is a good golf course for you.
We got like a bunch of rain yesterday, 1.5 inches or something, and the golf course is still sweet. I played all 18 holes today. I'm not in the Pro-Am tomorrow. I think for the first time since 2014, I'm not playing on Pro-Am.
That's surprising to me. I feel like you're a hot commodity right now.
Must not be with the Sony people. I got a lot more to say about that, but I can't say it. I might get canceled. No,
Yeah. Fucking Sony
Imagine
people.
you-
Yeah, you were always
Yeah.
more of an LG guy, weren't you?
Imagine this guy
LG
gets
guy,
through the
Samsung.
NBC.
I'm a big Samsung guy.
Gets through NBC broadcast, gets canceled on the Foreplay Golf podcast by just talking about.
So I'm going to play a Wahoo Country Club. You ever played it before, Dan?
No, I've never been to that area. I've never been to that island before.
Oh, I thought you came over here a little bit.
No, I Maui is kind of where I've been a bunch of times, but I've never been. Is it sweet? While I look super old school.
Wildlife's sweet. It's like old school running out. The rough's up. They must have had a big rainy season because the rough's up pretty good. Not that you're getting like pack out lies. It's just deep and harder to judge. But the rough's as high as I've seen it, but the course is pure. That's what I was going to say. We got 1.5 inches of rain, and the golf course is still dry. Like today, the ball's still bounding, which is cool.
It's good for Kevin Kisner.
I got a hell of a group, too. I've got G-Dog coming back from his surgery, and I've got Terrell Hatton, who could blow a gasket at any moment, who I absolutely love playing golf with. Because
I was going to say, have you played with him a bunch?
Oh, yeah. And he's like, I'm not a great ball striker, and I just kind of gas it around and make birdies and try to do what I do. But he absolutely flushes it, and they just goes nuts, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, you have some. He played last week. He got angry. I saw one chip where he got really angry last week.
So another good thing about the broadcast, and that is he went on a tirade on a putt about the fucking wind. The fucking wind moved it, and whatever. And I started laughing on air, and I was like, "Yeah, I told y'all the wind would start affecting putts today. I didn't know it affected that much. Where you're cursing it." And then Tommy's in my ear, and he goes, "They don't hear the F word." And I was like, "What?"
So they have like a button or something.
So they bleep out the F word, and I look like an idiot talking about it on there. And everybody at home's like, "I didn't hear an F word. What's kids talking about?"
It makes you wonder how many times
like,
he's throwing aggressive F words that you just don't hear on TV.
There was quite a few that
yes.
because I hear it in my ear. Like 6 players, I'd say, said good F bombs on there that I was thinking, man, you would get a fine if we didn't have this bleep system. Because we didn't have it 5 or 3 years ago. Whenever JT got in trouble, that's when we started bleeping it out.
Yeah.
Same event, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that same event?
Yeah, same event.
I will say, I noticed, and I don't know if it's just because the lack of there's not huge crowds in Hawaii, but the mics were picking up everything that the players and caddies were saying to each other. Everything.
Well, I think the technology is good because I don't know what that means, but they call it whenever Tommy wants us to shut up and let them talk, he yells pump or pump it up. So I think he's telling whoever has that mic that they can turn it up really loud to catch all that. And then we just sit there because he's like, if I say that, I want to hear what they're saying, or people want to hear what they're saying. So that gets kind of weird. I want to comment on what they're saying, but I'm not supposed to.
Who's caddying for you this week?
Same guy did off Skillet. He's been out here for 25 years. His name was Jeff Willett, but I only go with nicknames for caddies, as you know.
Was Dewey a nickname? I mean, it's kind of just his name, isn't it?
Dewey. Yeah, I guess so.
He's got himself a horse.
Yeah, he does, man. He's gonna make a bunch of money. That's why I made him go do that.
I mean, especially now you were talking about the elevated events. I mean, Sepp is in the prime of his career, 30 years old. I played the first 9 holes with him. Super, super nice kid. Very focused. Like he's at that point of his career where like this is earning season.
And he loves that. He loves golf. Like he loves to go play. He can't wait to get up and get out there and go play. He does the same routine every day and then goes and plays. I think he's going to compete for a major over this year, next year. He's just got the perfect game for it.
Right. He drives it really straight. That's the thing, is like he hits a lot of fairways.
And I asked Dewey what his best attribute was, and he's like, his 3, 4, 5, 6 iron, he hits his number every time. Like he tells me he's flying at 200 yards, he flies at 200 yards. When he got on tour, he couldn't chip it on the green. Now he's like chipping it in. I mean, not afraid to chip. He used to putt it from everywhere. Now he's rocking and rolling with that pretty good too.
Didn't you have a whole season there, kids, where you putted it from everywhere?
I've been putting for years, Riggs.
I love it.
I always tell people, why take the best club in your bag out of your hand?
I would say that's a good thing to tell your pro-am partner, but Sony obviously they didn't want you to do that. So
I'm not gonna be able to tell them tomorrow, Dan. But next week I got 3 days of pro-ams, so I'll be able to launch.
some corporate days.
No, it's at the Amex. Don't we play with the AM all?
Oh, right. I'll be there. I'll be there on Tuesday and Wednesday, so I will see you.
All right, cool. Yeah, I haven't played that tournament in like probably 5 years, so I'm sure I'll be sick of pro-ams by next Saturday.
Yeah.
Sick of those
pleasantries.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get a lot of that. I don't know. The kids does a lot of pleasantries. I think they kind of know what they're getting pretty quickly.
I mostly just knock balls back. Like, all right, that's enough. Riggs, you're putting for a fucking 6. I don't need you on this hole.
Get off of my green. I'm trying to play professional golf.
Yeah. And most of the time we just walk behind them, tapping down their spike marks where they spin around as the putt's slipping out. Or,
yes, that's the worst. They crank it.
It's going in.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that way too many times.
Twisted into the green.
Yeah.
What a nightmare. Can you elaborate on the Scotty putting stuff? Because I think that's probably been one of the most talked about. I mean, Scotty's putting's been one of the most talked about things in golf for the last year. That's actually golf related. And I feel like you were the first person that I've heard really kind of talk about, analyze his putting in the way that you did.
All right. So full breakdown, and then I got to run. But putters or balls being putted do not like loft, right? So you want the ball hugging the ground. That's why so many guys used to forward press back in the day, but putters have less and less loft than ever. And anybody that adds loft through the stride struggles. Okay. So that's why many drawers of the golf ball, shaft leaning, pushing face open with pass to the right, putt better than guys that fade it, in my opinion. So Scotty likes to hit a fade off the tee most of the time, or he sets up like he's going to hit a fade off the tee with his feet and legs shut to the target line, in my opinion, and his chest and shoulders open. And his right arm would be on top of his left from a down the line point. And for some reason, they jumped up there to show that one. I mean, they show him putting all the time, but I had like a perfect down the line, and his feet were like right of the hole, shoulders were left of the hole. And then he hit this putt that looked like it had no chance right off the rip. And I was like, ooh, that did not look right. And then in the break, I said something on air. And then in the break, Tommy's like, I want you to elaborate that on that, kids. So then he popped up the driver setup, and I was like, man, he sets up to his putter just like his driver. And that's probably brutal to change because you would never want to change his driver setup. It's unbelievable driver.
Right.
But man, he's got to do something to get his chest more in line with it. I mean, your chest, you don't move your legs in a putt. You move your legs when you drive. So you can make up for way more bad setup in a driver than you can in a putter. Putter's not dynamic. So we're just moving a short amount of time in a small space.
So isn't he seeing Phil Kenyon, who's like the putting guru? Won't he be telling him that? Or is he just not?
He may be working on that. I've never reached out to Phil to ask him. I just noticed it first time on Sunday. Now, I like what it looks to me that Phil made him get a little more squatty in his legs, more athletic looking, chest more up. Like, that makes sense to y'all. Not as bent over from the waist, and shorten his putter. And he looks a lot more athletic. He's a really athletic guy. I mean, I watched him play pickleball one night on TV. I was like, holy cow, I'm never going to beat this guy at golf. He does all this. So what I think it's more difficult. It doesn't matter how many times Phil Kenyon tells him his shoulders are open. If he doesn't want to move the shoulders shut or feels really awkward to him, you just got to come up with another way. I mean, JT can tell me 8 million times that my club face is shut. I don't want to change it. It's not going to change. Or if it doesn't feel good to change it and I hit shooting shots after I do change it, I can't change it.
But also, like, so when you're making a change like that, like when it's pressure and competition, you got to like revert back to the old patterns, right?
That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, it's like,
and as soon as this starts going bad, you always revert back to what feels going.
You're like, fuck.
Like if you start,
yeah,
if it starts going in the other way, even though it feels bad, it's like, well, I can get used to that if they keep going in.
Yeah,
it's just like the swing. Your swing doesn't feel great, but all of a sudden you start bobbing push draws. You're like, well, I'll just keep doing that over and over again.
Totally,
no matter how bad.
Totally.
And so I don't know. I've never asked Scotty about his putting. I know he's asked a ton of people, but you may shut his chest and he can't putt it in the ocean off the bow of the Titanic. I have no idea, but I know I wouldn't teach anyone to set up that way, and he's way too good to set up that way. And he works hard at it. Not like he doesn't try. So, but I don't know. He may have a body function that's the way he likes to set up. But then I watched him hit a pitch shot like 2 holes later on 16, and his legs were all open and his chest was, in line with his legs. So he can't do it.
Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't really heard it broken down or talked about that way. And like we just said, I mean, I'm sure he works on that. I'm sure he wants his alignment, but man, when we're all out there and you're feeling uncomfortable, you don't have it, you revert back to just whatever feels the least uncomfortable. You're like, let me just do that. All right. Let me just fucking do that for a minute, please, everybody. And it might have been where he's at.
My brain's going 100 miles a minute and I don't want to feel uncomfortable right now. I don't even care if the ball goes in. I just want to get it done.
That's right. That's exactly right. Just want to get the hell out of here. Fuck.
We've all been there, haven't we all, Riggsy?
Oh, man.
How's your driver game lately? I haven't played golf with you in like a year. Are you driving it everywhere still?
A lot better now. I had late fall, it reached the bottom of the valley, and it was when we went and we filmed with Sam Burns and we filmed the whole scramble, and not once did I hit a drive that was playable on a course where, like, I mean, you could almost hit it anywhere. It wasn't that tight. And no joke, if we honestly had to take one of my drives, we would have had to go back to the tee. I mean, I couldn't hit the ball on the planet. And it was what you said to Dan at the Masters. It was like, dude, I could stand on the range and had stood on the range for 6 outings in a row now where I just stripe driver on the range and then go to the first tee. And legitimately, I don't mean I don't hit a good, like, don't make contact with the ball. And people look at it like, well, have you ever played golf before? And then you're in a world of fucking hurt. And then you're trying to do what you just said, where I'm actually then I'm just trying to hit this like 190-yard cut into the right rough so that it's not a top into the
Anything.
shit.
Yeah. I just don't want it to
and
be embarrassing. Just don't make it this embarrassing, please.
just like hit it in the air so the guys could put a tracer out there or something that looks like I was competent. Like I just got to try to get through this. I couldn't even fucking do that. It was like, and it's
So
like,
does Dan play instead of Lurch now?
well, Dan's almost too good. He's almost too good that it makes our team against a pro. I think it makes our team a little bit.
Really? I didn't know
It
Danny
tips
Rapp
us.
was that good.
I'm getting better. I moved back to LA and I live right next to the golf course, so I'm back in the pluses now for the first time in a long time. But I'm
yeah,
getting
that's
good.
out.
Yeah,
You
That's what
can't
I
be that
mean.
and play a
Just
scramble.
yeah,
kills us.
That's what it is.
Kills our team kind of. So he, like when we played Wyndham Clark, Dan rode along with Wyndham and kind of interviewed him. And then me, Frankie, and Trent just played. And Wyndham didn't play particularly well, but we beat Wyndham, like just the three of us.
People always talk shit about how I lost to y'all. I was like, dude, I played pretty good. We played Pinehurst number 2 and I shot 70. Like,
Yeah. The 4-man scramble is for one person is really, really difficult to beat if there's one player who's worth a damn.
right.
Yeah.
And Large hit like laser 5-irons and rigs, was hitting flop shots out of trash cans, and the grip was the last guy. I'm like, what is going on here?
That was the first one, hey? That was like on Instagram Live, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that was
Uh-huh.
during COVID. We just like decided to go do something for charity. I think we did it for Barstool's charities and my charity or something. Riggs, I don't remember
Mhm.
what we did it for. We raised
Yeah, we
money.
did it for combo or
Maybe
something.
we
We
did it
raised
for
like
like
100
COVID
grand.
relief or something. Maybe I don't remember.
I think we did. But yeah, we raised like 100 grand. Pinehurst set the whole thing up. And then, I mean, it came down to the last hole. And Kiz, you did legit. We played from 7,500 yards on Pinehurst number 2, which is, they don't have to do much to make that a US Open
No.
course. And you did play. You were like, I'm playing exactly how I wanted to play. I'm making like no bogeys. I made 2 or 3 birdies. And on a US Open course, and you guys are just not playing fucking horrible like you're supposed to play. And we won. We won like 1 up. It was great.
I thought
You made
if
the
I
putt on
shot
18
even
rigs.
par, I
Yeah.
would have won 5 and 4 is what I remember thinking. And I shot like 1 under or whatever and lost. And didn't you make the last putt to win?
He made like a 10-footer, walked it in. I remember that.
It was like 15 or 20, but yeah, it was a nice. It was a
Oh,
nice
yeah, 25, might have been 30 feet.
We get to 2030, that's going to be a 40-footer that I made. But yeah, it was that was the first scramble. We've only lost to Max. We lost to Max in a playoff, and then we lost to Sam like 5 and 4, and he made like no. I think he had a 4-hole stretch where he was 5 under, and he just kind of blitzed us. Like we were even through 8, and then he just blitzed us and closed us
You
out.
can't go to pros home courses and play that.
Yeah.
And we had 3 of us, not 4. So it was just me, Frankie, Trent. I literally didn't hit a drive like that was findable the whole day. So yeah, he beat us pretty good. But point is, we've beaten everybody else. We've beaten like 7 or 8 pros at this point.
Sam told me, he's like, "Rod, your boys in that shotgun, that was pretty dangerous just even letting them hold that thing." He said, "I was nervous for everyone around." That's what he told me last week.
Dude, I mean, Frankie legit said, I feel like I have to tell my mommy that I'm about to do this. Like he was, you're talking to a crew that should not be holding the gun. I had a little bit of experience, but even then it's like when you haven't done it in 5 or whatever, 4 years since the last time I was with you, it's like, it's a little scary at first. You're holding a fucking shotgun. Anything could go wrong. We got through it. We survived. That would be so perfect foreplay. Like somebody like the Dick Cheney, we just have an accident. Somebody like shoots Sam
Shoot
Burns.
someone in the face.
No. He was on top of it. He helped us out. All right, Kiz. Well, you're back now playing golf. You got 2 in a row.
Got 2 in a row. Begging Steve John over there at Pebble Beach for a spot in his tournament. I don't know if that's gonna work out or not, but we'll see. Begging your boy Tiger Woods. You can text him for me.
I'm gonna lean on Tiger and I'll lean on Steve John. I'll lean on those guys for us. Mm-hmm.
Better do it fast.
All right, Kiz. Good luck this week. Great
right.
shit on the broadcast. I thought you were great.
All right, Danny Rapp, holler next week. We'll get a beer. And I'll set up. You want to come to my town and do it, Danny Rapp?
Yeah.
Are you going to work the Masters?
Yeah.
Well, if I'm not playing in the Masters, let's just go drink beer and do it at my club like 4 in the afternoon one day.
Fuck yeah. Sounds good. Deal.
All right. Sounds good.
I've played there before. It's an incredible place.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's great. Dude, the 2 videos we shot that day have like millions and millions.
That
of
was
views
the
at this
first
point on
YouTube video. Was the one you did with Vice Golf. That was like the first
Right.
YouTube video.
That's right.
You got in trouble
With all
didn't you?
my boys. And then they wanted to go out. So he took them out to the bar and they kept filming. And finally, one of my boys was like smart enough to say, all right, that's a cut on the filming. We're done with the filming for the day.
We're now doing the part that doesn't get filmed. All right.
Yes.
With the cameras
This is when we hang out for real without any filter.
You're going to like that, Dan. That's a good time.
Yeah. Riggsy, just shoot him my number so he doesn't have to text or DM me where I never see him for days on end because I'm, what'd you call it? Blissfully
unaware, baby.
Yeah.
Keep
just
it
text
up.
All right. Y'all be good. I appreciate it.
See you, kids.
See you later.
Good luck.